There is an old adage amongst DMs that if you're being subtle, you're being too subtle. And I think it even goes further than that.
How do you even start DMing? It's so scary. There's so much to learn, so much to worry about. So you start learning, making your own notes. Then you finally play, and this is where the real learning and processing takes place. And after the game, the cycle starts anew.
Full disclosure, I have a bunch of episodes for delving into your DMs that I want to release in succession, but I haven't figured out what the order of succession should be. So I think I'm just going to start with this one because this underlying problem, I think, can be fixed by things that I'm going to bring up in future episodes. So this episode, I don't think I'm going to have any fancy visual aids or anything like that. I just want to talk to you guys about something. There is a problem that I had with my campaign that took me a real long time to figure out, where players were getting mad because they didn't understand something. Even if everyone else at the table understood it, there was just one player there that didn't get it. And I didn't realize for a long, long time that even though I've given them the resources, I've given them the time outside the game to talk, to ask questions, a lot of them don't. Out of sight, out of mind. Once you're out of the campaign, they're not going to talk to each other about it. As a DM, you have to make sure that everyone at your table understands things if they're going to be important. If it's just like it's a misconception that this character has and everyone thinks it's funny, that's fine. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. If it is something that will become important later, that one player didn't understand, say everyone else at the table understands this concept, that one player, when they don't get it, they're going to blame you as the DM. So in order to sort of like circumvent this, as the DM, you have to make sure that everyone at the table understands what's going on, because they're going to be mad at you. And it's not necessarily even it's your fault, like you didn't do something. No, it's their misconception, but they will direct how upset they are, their frustration at you, because you're the one running the game. This has happened so many times where I thought I've explained something. Maybe I was a little too subtle, and the majority of my table gets it. 90% of the table understands this concept. But then one person will be like, no, you did it wrong. How dare you? And everyone else will be like, huh? And they'll never be mad at the other players for not explaining it to them. They'll be like, no, it's your job to do this. So I just want to put it out there. You're going to circumvent that. This will probably happen within your games at some point. And yes, like I said before, sometimes this could be pretty funny. Like this could be a cute thing for the party. Like one character just misunderstands something, and even after they've done it a bunch of times and the rest of the players sort of like shyly explain, like, it's really funny that you're making your character do this, and that player can be like, yeah, yep, that's how my character, yep, it's just my character, it's not me, that's fine. That will also, for sure, happen during your campaigns. There's no way that's not going to happen at least once. And that's part of the fun of the game. It's a collaborative storytelling game. You, as a group, are putting this story together. And that's the beauty of the game. But do be aware that you are seated as the DM in a somewhat different position. You are technically also a player, yes. The game cannot exist without you and the players together working to create something. You are still a player, yes, but to the other players, you're a higher being, sort of, kind of. Like, your word is law within this realm. Therefore, it's your job to make them feel like they've got it. You have to, outside of game, sometimes be like, oh, how do you do this? And granted, part of this problem is that a lot of people, when they don't understand something, they don't ask around. They don't come to you for DM office hours. They don't go to the other players and be like, did you understand what we were doing here? They won't do that because it's embarrassing. So you're going to have to develop a system to figure out, maybe just by the way that they talk, maybe by looking at their faces more intently when you're like, I feel like this player is not going to understand this concept quite right. Just giving them a look and being like, oh, I don't get it, and explaining it to them. Because, well, yes, you are also a player, for sure. You're a player in the game, even though you're the DM. Because you are the DM, their frustration at feeling like they've been left out will be directed at you, not the other players on the team, even if everyone else at the table understood the concept of what was going on. And that took me a really long time to figure out. I was like, why are you getting mad at me when everyone else understood? And then I was like, oh, because technically I'm in an elevated position here. I'm the authority of the situation. And understanding that, especially as a first-time DM, I think is difficult because even though I'm the DM, this is my first campaign, I went into it thinking I'd be a player just like them. But I'm not. I have so much more to do at the table, even if it doesn't make sense. But because I have that authority station within the game, there's more onus on me, on you as the DM, to get things done. I think that this will be a pretty short one, but it will lead into many other DM things in the future. Oh, and be aware that you can also go to these players outside of game. If you think that they don't get it when you're at the table, feel free to be like, remember to finish whatever you're doing before you jump into, are you sure you got that? After you see like some tell on their face, their inflection of their voice or something, be like, are you sure you get this? If you don't realize it until out of game, like your group is talking, you have a separate chat for when the game's not running, that kind of thing, feel free to maybe send them a DM or talk to them on the side. If you see them in person, if you're a physical DM, be like, are you sure you get that? Because again, they're going to be mad at you, not the other players at the table for not explaining it to them.
Also, I just want to put out there that I can't give you a real good preview of the next episode because I don't know what order I'm going to make them in yet.